Hey guys, welcome back to the Snap Ring Chronicles. Today we have another Ratchet video for you. But before we start, as always, could you give me a like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you find this type of content interesting or informative. Okay, today we have an Easco ratchet. This is a 3/8 drive ratchet. And Easco is well known for doing Craftsman ratchets for a long time. They took over from more Drop Forge in the late 60s, making Craftsman, and they continued to make Craftsman ratchets, I think, until the early to mid 90s. So they had a long run making ratchets for Sears. But they also had their own brand, and they did other brands also. I think some Napa ratchets were made by Easco, and probably some others, some other brands. But this is their own brand, and from what I hear, from what people tell, is that they usually did a real good job on their own brand. Like the fit and finish and polish was usually better on their proper Easco brand. Okay, this is model 721107 USA, and the letters are real deep. You can see there the letters are really like deeply engraved. And there's the handle. And here's your head. And some people were saying that this might have been a contract. It wasn't Easco, it was another company because of this head. It looks kind of familiar. They were saying maybe it's a right ratchet, but I don't know. I have no idea, but I would think Easco would do their own stuff since they were making stuff for other people. I wouldn't see why they would be contracting out to other companies to make their ratchets. But this ratchet seems like a bit of a bargain ratchet, maybe, for Easco, because I see here, if you see here along the edge, you see how it's raised here. They didn't smooth it out like really good. It's kind of raised along the head. The bottom is better. You don't see the ridge here too much on the bottom, but on this side you can see that ridge there. It wasn't smoothed out too good, and I don't know if you can make it out, but down here on the handle also you can see the ridge. It wasn't smoothed out that well. Okay, let's open it up. This has the regular coral ring, and actually this ring is really thin. It's a really thin coral ring. And and just to compare, this is kind of a small head also. Just to compare, I want to bring in an SK, a regular SK ratchet, the 45170. So you can see that the Easco is a bit smaller, and it's also quite a bit thinner, as you can see there. So just a quick comparison with the SK. Alright, let's open it up. Here are the teeth, and they do have a lip on this side, a cutout around the teeth, and on this side is flat. This looked like it was bored out pretty good. The teeth look pretty nicely done. As you can see, they look pretty well cut. I have no complaints with the head. The mechanism is just a regular SK style, one pawl, one seesaw pawl, and the pawl is pretty thin. It doesn't look too thick or anything. I don't know, it just seems pretty average, pretty regular, nothing spectacular here. There is a hole here. I'm not sure why that's there, but there is a hole drilled out here. And the other problem with this mechanism is that I can't figure out a way of disassembling it. I looked inside, and I don't know if I could get some light in here, but it looks like there's a little ridge in there, and this might be one of those mechanisms that the switch has a hole that goes all the way through, and the spring is peeking out underneath, because this will not budge. When I try to pull out the switch, it's not coming out. It's not moving at all. So something is holding the switch into the body, and I can't see what it is. But there is a ridge in here, like a cutout that goes all the way around. And from what I've seen in other companies, especially like Thorson, sometimes they'll put these together, and it's just they'll put it together going one way, like they have no way of taking it out afterwards. It just, they compress the spring and the plunger, and boom, they stick it in, and then when the spring expands, it catches the ridge in there, and then that's it. It won't be able to come out. So that's kind of unfortunate. We can't see what's can't see how it looks like torn down all the way, but this is what it looks like, somewhat. You see what it looks like inside a little bit. And there is the ball detent. And another thing about this ratchet is that this ball detent is one of the weakest ball detents that I've seen in a while. Yeah, I could just take it out with 2 fingers, like nothing. It's pretty weak. I was surprised because I hear a lot of good things about Easco, so I was surprised that this ball detent was that weak. But yeah, that's about it. There's not much more to see. This is how it switches, and it has I could tell there's like a limit. There's maybe a protrusion that limits to how far the switch can switch from east to right, from right to left. Because I'm looking at the ball detent, and the ball detent doesn't make it all the way to the edge. It stops just before the edge. So I think there's another little protrusion there that's keeping this from going all the way to the side, and that's another factor in keeping someone from breaking this down all the way. Because if I can spin this all the way to the side, I could probably get the detent underneath here, and maybe I could get the spring or the detent out from this hole. But that's just the way it was made. So okay, to get this back together, we just drop it back in with the Easco, the switch side on the Easco side, and you press the pawl down a little bit to get it in. You take your ring and you start it on the cutout, and you just mash it around until it clicks. and then you test it out, see if it's switching and ratcheting. Yep, it's working. Okay, that's my review and partial teardown of the Easco 721107 ratchet. Alright guys, till next time.